of Net Gains with Bobby Gaines. The third episode started this back in April, I can't even remember. These months have all blurred together. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. So, usually this whole thing is just kind of free form. The last couple episodes I said weren't going to be that long, and then they ended up being like 2 hours long. So, yeah, we got a lot to get to today. I don't think so, but we'll see. As I await my eager fan base. As you can see, I've switched locations somewhat. I'm in my bedroom this time. Woo, very exciting. And every month, anyone who's been following my channel, well, it's been a long time, but since my channel began in technically 2006, I used to do these monthly rants every month, basically just detailing what was to come, what had already happened, and so on. And, those are fun, but then I'm like, why don't I bring that idea back, but instead involve the fans, the same way I did with Christmas last year, and the same way I do with my Twitch streams. And live streaming has really kind of added another layer to my channel that, I don't know, I just really like it. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, quite honestly. I just always kind of wrote it off, but, I mentioned it many times before that live streaming could be the future of Pi Productions. It's not unthinkable that maybe some big event could even be live streamed at some point. I don't know how that would work, but, that's an idea. I'm always trying to be creative with things because, if anyone's been watching Pi Productions lately, and I'm just being critical of myself right now, a lot of my content has kind of been repetitive. There's not a lot going on, as you guys know, with the quarantine and just different things like that. It's kind of hard to make videos when there aren't things to make videos of. Now, that said, I do have some videos I'm sitting on that I could release that are kind of like based on older stuff. And I don't know why I haven't done that yet, to be honest. Again, I'm actually going to spend a little bit of time talking about this whole quarantine situation, which I feel like many of us, and I can't speak for everybody in every country or every area, but I feel like a lot of us are over the kind of hump that is the quarantine. Like, the worst of it is over, I want to say. Maybe I'm jinxing it, but, from where we were back in March and April to now, things are opening up again. I just returned to work personally a few days ago, and things are pretty much business as usual. We still have the social distancing guidelines, the masks, the different aisles kind of sectioned off, so that's different. And for those of you who don't know, I work at a Staples store, so kind of a small store to begin with. We're technically not supposed to have more than like 30 people in the store. I don't know who's regulating that because we don't have like a tally counter or anything, but I'm just rambling. My point is that, at least, around here, and I live in Connecticut, so I hear Connecticut's like one of the last states to open, and even here we're starting to see some of our bigger venues open up again, as I just received a Facebook message in the background. We're starting to see some of our things opening again, so here in Connecticut things are starting to return to normal, slowly but surely. And, so I like to say the quarantine is over. I guess it's technically not, but it just, now that the worst of it's over, I guess I can kind of talk about it a little more. And, how do you talk about doing nothing? Well, it wasn't really that simple, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, and hopefully some people will show up. And I see we have a viewer now, so welcome, viewer number one. Thanks for being here. For that, you get absolutely nothing, but thank you all the same. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the things I did during quarantine. Not a whole lot, but kind of the positives and negatives of being cooped in the house for such a long time straight, basically, because that really hasn't happened to me and probably a lot of people in my age group for many years. Of course, when we were kids, maybe, you were inside a lot, during summer vacation, you go outside and play, all this kind of basic stuff, and, you didn't have a job anyway, so there wasn't that to do. But, it's kind of an interesting experience being a 31-year-old and having basically 2 months off of work, 2 months off basically paid because of unemployment, and basically kind of having that life again for a couple months. And, you'd think it'd be like this fantasy come true, like, oh, I could play video games all day, I can wake up at 11 and, eat cereal and watch Saturday morning cartoons and do all that. And yeah, that got old after about a week, to be quite honest. The idea that, I had all this time to fill actually got pretty daunting after a while. A lot of days I'd wake up, I'd be like, well, I can't really go anywhere. I'd go out and buy groceries, that was about it, and then come home, make lunch, and sit and wonder what I'm doing with my life, which is something I routinely enjoy anyway. And then by like 3 or 4 o'clock, I'd be like, okay, what am I doing? And, a lot of nights I'd watch movies, plenty of movies on Disney Plus and Netflix and all that. I'm sure if anyone made money off this pandemic, it was the streaming services outside of all the other, the medical supplies and the needed stuff. But the non-essential stuff has to be the streaming, whether it's gaming or, entertainment. And of course, Sony was actually nice enough to offer a few free games during this Uncharted collection, a few others on the PlayStation Network, just for anybody because they know you got nothing else to do. And that was kind of a nice gesture of them. You know, it's been a tough time. It's been a weird time. You know, Saturday Night Live has been on with like people in their houses hosting it. So you're watching like Kenan Thompson do a game show from his house. Bexflix, yes, Bexflix is another popular service, streaming service that some of you probably haven't heard of. It's a new one, just out of Europe, and can't say too much about it because it's still in the working phases. They have a pretty decent payment plan. They take the money out of your account every day or so. You don't even really notice it after a while. I keep getting flagged with these weird charges, and I'm like, I don't know, they just kind of took the money out. So yeah, actually, I'm glad Bex is here because she is among many of my friends who I got to spend more time interacting with during this, which is good. That was, you know, where I talk about the positives of the quarantine, which is that I got to, you know, I called some of my friends who don't live in this area anymore. I called to my friends who do live in this area because I couldn't really go anywhere. Hey, Bex. Yes, I was just telling the people how wonderful you are. By people, I mean the one other person, maybe. But no, it was cool, and it still is cool. But it's cool. It was cool to catch up with my friends for the 60 days or so. That is how they get you, you know. Oh yeah, it's free for a week, and then next thing you know, you're getting charged for stuff you don't even remember getting, and like, oh okay, I guess that's could have just bought the box set for that price. But anyway, I digress. And actually, Bex can attest to this. One other thing that I've been doing in my free time, and I've been doing this for a while. Actually, this is something that is not well known about me. Actually, learning German. And I've been learning German for almost a year now. And I took a lot of time with that, having so many free hours. I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? So I would open up Babbel or Duolingo. I'd go online and look up German conversations, German movies, things like that, just to watch them, just to listen and kind of learn. So that's something, you know, that I kind of want to take away as a positive. That and other things like working on my art and stuff. Like it's really weird to have so much free time, to be honest. So you know, usually I'm like, oh, I don't have time to do this today. Well, I actually couldn't say that a lot of days. So Sunday through Sunday was pretty much whatever I wanted. But you know, we're gonna turn it over to the viewers at some point and see. It looks like we only have the one viewer, but see what other people have been doing during quarantine. Of course, I know some of what Bex has been doing during quarantine, and I'm sure there's some other stuff going on. And yeah. In the gaming world, just to switch gears for a minute here, I don't know how far behind my lag is, because I just don't. I'm getting confused, because I'm looking at myself on my screen, and I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? And then I look at my screen over here, filming me, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, here we are in my room. I did not get enough time to clean this place, unfortunately. That's another story. That could take another quarantine or two, and they talk about this thing coming back in the fall. I hope not. So I'm actually starting to get used to going back to work again. And for those of you who also don't know, I'm a DJ, so that has obviously hurt that business. I keep hearing that weddings are going to come back in July or August or September. Well, you people are going to have to wait to get married. I don't know. And eventually, I know there's going to come a month where I'm doing like 8, 9 weddings at a time. So just while I'm here, and I have it right next to me, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out. Excellent movie. Well, I guess I can't just blurt out excellent, because everyone's going to be like, oh, the Sonic fan just loves the Sonic movie because Sonic's in it. Yes and no. I thought it had its flaws. At times, I thought they kind of focused too much on some of these weird, like, feel-good moments with, like, Sonic square dancing and stuff that, you know, I get it. It's funny. It's a novelty. It's a blue hedgehog dancing in a Western bar, but after that, it was just kind of whatever. I do wish that they had spent more time on the Sonic part of the Sonic movie, but I'm glad they made the tweaks that they did to the character design. Jim Carrey absolutely nailed it as Dr. Robotnik. And as you know, I recently did a video where I talked about a sequel for the Sonic movie, which was recently announced, and what I'd like to see in that. Now, I know Bex is not really qualified, no offense, but not really qualified to talk about Sonic sequels and, you know, Sonic lore in general. But obviously, few omissions that I really want to see in the sequel. Chaos Emeralds were nowhere to be seen in the first one, and that's okay. Using Sonic's quills as an energy source I thought was kind of weird, to be honest. That's never really been done before, but they needed an explanation, I guess, for why he's so fast, and that was as good as any. So I hope Chaos Emeralds make an appearance. I think Knuckles is most likely going to be in the movie, and I'm hoping that they go in a direction. I know, Bex, we'll get to you. I'm hoping that they're going to go in like a Sonic 3 direction. I mean Sonic 3 the game, where Robotnik and Knuckles team up. Yeah, spoiler alert. Actually, the first time Sonic meets Knuckles, he's an enemy in the games. And then he eventually figures it out that Robotnik is actually the real bad guy. But I digress. Bex, what did you think of the Sonic movie? Because we did watch this one at one point. The Sonic movie by Paramount Pictures, featuring the Blue Blur, which was also a nice little reference in there. And actually, rewatching it a few times, if you pause the DVD at certain points, you do see other little references they made. I'm kind of wondering why they even made them, but it's kind of funny. They reference Sonic and the Secret Rings at one point, and a couple other random games. But yeah, I'm kind of just directing all the questions at you, Bex, because you're the only one here right now. So this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna freaking do. But no, I'm willing to talk about whatever you want to talk about too. I'm just kind of doing a Q&A here because I know I'm so popular and I can't really get to everybody at once. Even with the book signing I did last week, it was just total chaos. Some pun intended. There's a second viewer hiding in here somewhere. Either that or YouTube view numbers are just messed up again. But I digress. What else can I talk about? I got the Super Nintendo Mini recently, which I only mentioned that because I streamed off it last night, Super Mario RPG, but that's just another development in my growing collection of retro consoles, which I really like. And I guess that's as good a segue as any to mention what I don't like, which is the Game Gear Micro. Why? I'll be the first one to say that the Game Gear was an underrated console. I'm eating a salad, but how ate you today? Are you today? Well, I'm not eating, but I actually had some Popeye's chicken not too long ago. I don't know if you know what Popeye's chicken is. It's like really crispy Louisiana-style chicken, whereas the kernel comes from Kentucky. Popeye's comes from Louisiana, and they got these people that are like, "Oh man, our chicken is delicious." And I'm not even making that up. That's like how the ads are. In fact, let's see here. A little free advertising right now for Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes. They never have the chicken sandwich in stock. I don't know why. It's a freaking chicken sandwich. Like, people act like they invented some new meal. Like, they've never seen this thing before. It's never in stock. And that's what really grinds my gears. Beck's eating a salad. Der Salat. That is pretty interesting. What was I talking about again? Oh, yeah, I was going to bitch about the Game Gear Micro. Yeah, what is the deal with that? And again, I talk about this as somebody who loves the Game Gear as an idea. Game Gear had a lot of problems, if I'm being honest. I had a Game Gear in the late 90s. Loved it because I was a stupid kid and I loved anything that Sega slapped their name on. Until I realized that the batteries only last like half an hour on a portable console. Yeah, so it was kind of weird. I had to get an AC adapter for it. I had to get all these accessories for it. I did not have the magnifying glass, which thankfully this will come with if I want to spend $50 or $200 on all of them. Will you get The Last of Us 2? Well, I don't even have The Last of Us 1, so I feel like I'm going to be kind of missing out there. I'll probably just watch you stream, and I'm not even sure what the game is about. I've only been able to see like half an hour of the first game, so probably not. Or if I do, it'll be one of those that I get like months after it's released and it's on sale or something. Or heck, I still got to finish Final Fantasy VII and all these other story-based games I got, like Nier Automata. What else? I'm actually looking at my game collection right now. Need for Speed Heat's just been sitting there. That was actually a Christmas present from my boss, so shout out to him. And, God, what else am I playing right now? I don't even know. Oh, geez, Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4. I haven't finished that game either. I started that like 2 years ago. Hard to believe that game is 2 years old. I can still remember it being revealed. They grow up so fast. So yeah, Last of Us 2, possibly. You know, maybe. Probably should play Last of Us 1. I don't even know. Is that related to Uncharted? The graphic style looks so similar. Then get Last of Us 1, stream it. Well, I could, if it's cheap enough, which it probably is. And then we can watch me suck at that, because I am not very good at the exploration, shooty type games at all, as we all know from watching me play Rage, with quite a bit of Rage. Well, why did I get the game Rage again? Oh, that's right, it was on Breaking Bad for like 30 seconds, and it looked good. And I found it for $3. That is literally why I have the game Rage. That and because I was bored and I needed something to do. So that's why I got it. Alright, so we got a suggestion here for The Last of Us 1 stream, breaking news. Check that out on Chaos Blur whenever. Get that going. I'm very susceptible to requests. That's kind of why I do this. Actually, this is the most active I've seen. It's not open world. Well, not open world, but it looks like, I don't know, I can't really say because I only saw like half an hour of the game. It looked to me like a game that you, maybe I'm thinking of Uncharted 4. And it doesn't matter. I get lost in anything, so either way. I'm not saying I hate getting lost. It's just not, not fun for people. Like, it's fun for me. Now, that's the weird thing. Like, I like playing Final Fantasy VII, but I feel like people watching me play it are just getting bored watching me walk around and just do these side quests and swing my sword at boxes. Like, I feel like that doesn't work. How about Needhog 2? Well, I'll gladly play it. I don't know if there's a way... Well, of course there's a way to stream it, but I don't know if anyone would watch it, especially with how laggy it is, but that's on me. I'm surprised this stream hasn't lagged out yet. But actually, the streams go pretty well when I hook up my HD camera. This is not my webcam. This is my Canon Vixia. Lovely 1080p picture, probably only in 720p here. Which reminds me, not that Bex is going to know what the heck I'm talking about here, but at the end of this month at some point, I'm going to be re-releasing Blockbusted, the original movie from 2010, which was my first HD movie, following Crash Daniels in 2009, which I re-released last year. My friends Frankie and Corey would know more about that, but I am going to be doing a re-release of Blockbusted at the end of the month, as well as a live watching of it with commentary, because that was a movie that had a lot of significance to me. It's literally a movie about movies, and it was, originally meant to be a little more serious, and then it devolved into a comedy like so many more of my movies do, because that's just what happened. So stay tuned for that. Probably in the next week or so, I'll be releasing a trailer for the Blockbusted re-release, which, I mean, you can watch Blockbusted now if you wanted to. It's still on YouTube, but I might fix some stuff. Ooh, exciting times, exactly. I like to think so. I like to think, and this is going to sound weird, but I've actually been kind of excited to go back to work, not because I love it, but just to see some of my peeps that I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, I said peeps. And to get excited about the fact that malls are opening again, so the mall tour could be coming back as soon as this month. I could be hitting a couple malls in this area. We'll see what happens with that. My boss thought it'd be a funny idea if I went to a mall where, like, all the stores are closed and whatever. I'm like, yeah, if you're driving, I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to go to a mall with, like, 5 stores open while I'm wearing a mask and standing nowhere near anything. Like, that's, it's funny, but it's not worth all the work. So, quarantine mall tours could be a thing. I don't know. I've considered making the face mask. The mall tour official face mask. Because I don't draw enough attention to myself. But yeah, no, that's... This year's kind of been pretty blah, as in case you didn't notice. Speaking of movies, I've got the new the really serious one that I can't remember the plot to, but it might involve German people. I don't really remember too much about it. That'll be interesting to see. Kevin James is a more serious actor. I know Adam Sandler recently scored pretty well, as far as I'm concerned, with Uncut Gems. I know it's not everybody's kind of movie, but I was very pleasantly surprised with how he plays his character in that. And just the whole tone of the movie is completely different from what you'd expect from Adam Sandler. I won't give it away, but it's got a lot of praise, and rightfully so. Although I do prefer the goofy Adam Sandler. It was still a really good movie, and you don't even really think about it as an Adam Sandler movie. Becky. I thought you hated to be called that. Oh, that's right. It's the one where it's like, oh, she's special. We gotta stop Becky. Find Becky. Becky, where are you? Oh, God. I was watching King of Queens last night. Can't remember which one it was. It's always on, this episode. I think that's why I just get so, like, numb to it. I'm like, this one's on again. Actually, now I think about it, they always show, like, the same 4 episodes. Bonus points if anybody can guess what popular 90s sitcom is on my TV right now with the sound off. By which I mean there's only one person here, so bonus points to that one person. Guys. Fun times indeed, fun times indeed. What else have I talked about in the last month or so? Well, there was the whole... Nah, I'm not going to bother. So I don't want to bore people with stuff that wasn't really relevant to what they want to talk about. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about the quarantine a little more and just some of the positives and negatives of that. I kind of did that already. And Game Gear Micro, really stupid idea. Not to re-release it, but to make it that small and have 4 games on it. And here's the kicker. Pre-orders on the Game Gear Micro sold out in like 10 minutes in Japan. I could not believe that. I mean, I could believe somebody bought it, but not that it would be that popular that fast. But again, Sega of Japan, they're popular in Japan. I don't know. It's just, at least they try, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come to America. I wouldn't be surprised if I bought it, but I won't be happy about it. They can make a Game Gear Mini, because the Game Gear, as it was huge. I mean, it was so unnecessarily huge. But it was a good console. I thought it was better than the Game Boy Color. But of course I think that. I'm biased. So, yeah. That brings me back to Chaos Blur, where my Twitch channel is going. Retro Request Party coming back soon. Again, probably my favorite thing that I do on the channel. And, God, I'm stuttering more than when I speak German. It's really surprising that I only have the 2 viewers, and I don't know who the other one even is. So I usually kind of just do a free-form type of thing based on said viewership, which is kind of hard to do when I just have the 1 viewer, and I try to cater it to them. So, how is, what's it called? How is The Last of Us going anyway? Have you finished the game yet? Probably have. I'll drink some Coke as I think about this. Could be me on phone and PC. Oh, that would really be mean. I mean, it would inflate my view numbers, but it would basically be that. It would just be one person counting twice. Which I appreciate. You know, my last few streams, I played guitar. I could do that again. I don't know if anybody wants to see that, but I could just go grab my guitar again. But again, that's even just kind of based on crowd demand, of which there is not a whole lot. Oh yeah, this is my wireless keyboard, by the way, because the one on my computer sucks. I finished it before, now it's still a few hours left till the end. Interesting. We're down to the last of the hours on The Last of Us. I saw the Mass Effect collection for Xbox 360. I don't know if that's something you think I would be into. I know you love Mass Effect, but they had like the whole trilogy on one disc. It was only like $10, but yeah. I watch you on PC. Well, yeah, see, there you go. So there's my 2 viewers. Well, thank you for double time. Otherwise, this would have been 40 minutes of me talking to myself. I don't think we're going to get 2 hours out of this, which is good, because actually I thought the last 2 episodes were kind of long. But let's see. Now I'm just looking at random stuff in the room as I try to think of stuff to talk about. Anyone notice my Dreamcast hat? I really like this hat. I actually found this hat on the Sega shop in the UK. They don't sell the same stuff on the Sega shop in the US, so I had to have this imported for some reason. And fun fact that nobody's going to care about, but you can tell it's from Europe because it has the blue Dreamcast logo. America had the orange Dreamcast logo. That is kind of how I knew. Oh, wow, actually, for some funny reason it says Sonic the Hedgehog on the inside of the hat, but this isn't really a Sonic hat. It's Sega, but it's not Sonic. A lot of people think that Sega's only Sonic. They got other things. No one knows what they are, but they have them. And they have the Game Gear Micro, which I'm sorry, I can't get over how stupid that is, and the fact that they just re-release their own stuff over and over again and act like it's a big deal. Well, we got a big announcement, everybody. We're bringing this other thing back. Okay. Again, I like the Game Gear. But they picked, like, other than Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Chaos, and I think a couple other decent games, they did not pick a lot of good games for that thing. I think somebody mentioned they picked like 4 RPGs for that. How are you going to play an RPG on a 1-inch screen? How are you going to read the text on a screen that's that freaking big? Like, I don't know. I played a Sega game yesterday with Caddy. Oh, Company of Heroes is Sega? I'm not surprised. Sega has some random games that I don't really know about. They do a lot of, like, tactical stuff. I think they do Football Manager, which I don't know how big of a game that is. I don't even think you play any football in it. I think you're just literally that. You're just the manager. You just watch the team play and hope for the best. So yeah, apparently, actually I think I knew that Sega makes Company of Heroes, because they only have like 4 games on their homepage. If you go to Sega's homepage, they're like, yeah, Company of Heroes, some kind of game where you manage a hospital. That's a real thing. Yeah, well, how was it? Because I really don't know. I'm not too familiar with it. I assume it's more of a tactical game than a Call of Duty-ish game. Hopefully you kick some butt on that. I really should advertise these streams better. Maybe like Billboard or something. I don't know. But I digress. And I had all this stuff to talk about, and I can't remember like any of it now. Oh, Sega announced something called fog gaming, which sounds completely stupid, and even the concept's not that great, but I appreciate them trying. Basically, instead of cloud gaming, this would allow you to play arcade games at home on your PC. I have no idea how this is going to work. So far, it's only in Japan, but I guess you can actually, like, basically bring the arcade home and just play the games at home. I have no idea how this is going to work. It's actually not a bad idea. It's interesting. It was quite fun. It's a real-time strategy game. Nice. It must be on like a 5-minute lag, but nice. Very nice. Is there anything you want me to say in German? Because I'm running out of ideas here. Let's see. I got the thing here. I don't even know. I get these magazines sometimes. I don't even subscribe to them. Like Wired Magazine. Anybody get that? It's like a computer tech magazine. Because you know how tech savvy I am. I don't even know how to get my own streams to work half the time. Which reminds me, I can't wait for that Blockbuster watching party at the end of June. I did enjoy Blockbuster. 2 and 3 were pretty good as well. But I digress. Let's see, here we go. But no, the fog gaming's not a bad idea. I mean, Sega actually makes more arcade games than they make console games. And some of them are pretty good. Of course, some of them are pretty well known, like House of the Dead or Streets of Rage, things like that. But they also have some other ones like Border Break and something else I already forgot. Oh, Virtualon. Virtualon's a pretty good game. Yeah, they make those arcade games. I'm crashing and burning here. I watched your last stream when you watched a movie. Yes, that was Crash Daniels. Actually, I think that Blockbusted is better, obviously, because it came out a year later. That stars myself, my friends Frankie and Arkaya. And it's an interesting premise in that it is me playing 4 different characters. So I actually play myself. I reprise my role of Zach Masters, who was the villain in Crash Daniels. I basically play every character that I ever played in a movie. It's almost like a breaking the fourth wall kind of deal. So all those characters return with myself. It's kind of hard to explain. You just kind of have to see it. And then my friend Frankie plays my friend Frankie, and there's a couple other people in there. And it was a silly movie. I actually kind of liked the plot twists, and there was some interesting moments in there. I think I had more fun filming it than actually like watching it, but we'll see when I watch it again. Some of this stuff, again, revisit it 10 years later, even I forgot some of it. And of course, that's back when I was driving my Pontiac Grand Am, so that got in there a lot. The best of Bobby. Well, some people would argue the worst of Bobby, but yes. God, do I have it in here? Not the movie, but yeah, right here. Actually, many years ago, I made a movie, which I can't even say is original, based on this movie. And this movie is called The Movie Hero. So this movie is about a guy who believes that he's in a movie. Like, so he's, you know, he basically talks to the camera for most of the movie, thinks his life is a movie, sees a therapist about it, all this. It sounds kind of stupid, it is kind of stupid, but it's actually, like, unintentionally funny. And I liked it so much that I made my own movie called The Movie Hero. So I have my own version of this guy that is one of the characters that I play. And he's in Blockbusted as well, along with a character named, get ready for this, Robbie Baines, my alter ego, who plays Foosball from my sports movie, Foosball the Movie. I had a lot of time between 2008 and 2010. Those were slow years. God knows I wasn't getting any. Those are some slow freaking years. Yeah, that's what I did then. And as you can tell, I've really evolved now, rewatching all those movies again, because I'm running out of ideas. Poly Production, someone has to do it. Like, I make fun of Sega for re-releasing their stuff, and then I'm going to do the same exact thing. But I am going to fix a couple things, because rewatching those movies, I made a couple of mistakes in editing that I can easily tweak. A couple audio mistakes, some other stuff. Because actually the visuals are pretty good, because it's a 720p camera, and we filmed a lot of it outside, which unfortunately meant that there were a lot of windy days that kind of ruined the sound. And I can't do much about that. I've tried. We filmed on a beach at one point, and it's just so windy that the audio is like inaudible. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, I digress. What the hell am I watching? Alright, anyway. What TV series or movies or things are you looking forward to watching out there on the interwebs? Yeah, this is fun. This is great. I gotta tell you. How long can I sit here? This is how I feel during most of my streams, by the way. Ah, yes, Mr. Mercedes and The Outsider. Both great series by Stephen King. Have we gotten to the season finale of Mr. Mercedes? I know we were close to that. That was certainly building toward a climactic conclusion, at least for season 1. Then The Outsider, who the hell knows what's going on in that? That's a really cool show. Have yet to really unravel that mystery, as Stephen King often does like to bring in. I think you get my messages a minute late. That's possible. That is very possible. I'm actually surprised I get them at all. Still good to see them, don't get me wrong. I finished season 1. Well, hopefully it was good. And then, I guess, what are there, 3 seasons? Something. So Chernobyl, we only have like 2 episodes to watch in that, I thought. I thought we watched 3 of the 5 episodes. Oh, boy. It's a good episode. You've been a good audience. Just see something here. Don't think this will affect the stream, but we'll find out. I'm gonna come back and see like I have split screen or something. Nope, we're still good. Same amount of lag, but still good. Oh, well, that's interesting. All right. Apparently one of my friends, that's what I suspected, one of my friends from Facebook was watching the stream, but she doesn't have a YouTube account, so she wasn't commenting, that's why. So, yeah. That explains a lot there. I knew somebody else was here. Yep, now someone else is here again. Dark Season 2, I do want to watch that. I mean, I've seen Dark. I mean, we could start that one soon. There's a few other episodes I want to watch. I actually like going back to the previous episodes just to kind of reinforce my understanding, but that's a whole other thing. And, yeah, no, that's another show that throws you for a loop. Quite a bit, actually. And, let's see, I would grab the guitar, but I don't really know if anybody's interested in that. And I would talk about... Actually, I wouldn't talk about that. I already talked movie sequel, Maltor possible return, Blockbusted re-release, Quarantine, which has been a lot of this. Do I have any of my face masks in here? I do. Oh, I do. I've already seen this one. Thought I had some other ones here. Let's see here. See if I can get into character. Netflix is a season 1 recap of Dark season 1. So basically, that's my hint to just watch that instead of you know, watching the episodes. But I mean, I understand that. I would gladly watch season 2. Get my Dark knowledge on. See where that series is going. There might even be a season 3. Yeah, I put on the mask. This happened. This is actually a very comfortable mask. problem with the masks in general, especially working retail, I can't hear anybody and they can't hear me. So it's a lot of like, what'd you say? What? Huh? Oh, okay. Especially the older people who seem to wear the really thick ones. And then this one, I think actually, this one actually doesn't hinder your breathing all that much. Yeah, this is the Sonic mask. Actually, the Pontiac mask is my favorite because it's made of this material that's a lot more breathable. This is a little, kind of in between in terms of thickness. The American flag one is super thick. I actually had somebody at work tell me that wearing the American flag mask might be illegal because it's like you're defaming the flag, even though it's not an actual flag, it's just a flag pattern. So I don't really get that. It's not like I took an American flag and cut it into a mask. I just put a mask on that has that printed on it. But I digress. Maybe I'll wear this to work today. Why not? No one said I couldn't. I've seen other crazy masks. Something else I was going to say. So yeah, Dark Season 2. I'm pretty much just having a conversation with Bex, which is alright, but that's why I'm kind of trying to cater this to the audience. Of course, the same thing's going to happen that happens every time, which will be that I say the stream is over and then like 5 people show up. Or even 2 people show up. But I digress. I've got this camera situated in a weird way so that if I look at my computer, it looks like I'm looking away from the camera. Because I am looking away from the camera. And vice versa. Don't know if anybody has any requests for other videos you'd like to see on the channel. Maybe some content that I haven't yet done. There's certainly time for that. I thought about doing art streams or maybe music streams or like, kind of like Ransrat or like I do kind of music stuff live on camera. I don't know how entertaining that would be, especially because some of my songs meander along a little bit. There'd be a lot of mistakes, but that's kind of part of the process. I'll bail now, feeling bad because I'm the only viewer, it seems, but need to shoo. Oh, well that's fine. No, that's fine. What are you doing? Because I'll probably go end up doing it because I'm not going to keep talking to myself. But I appreciate you sticking around. And I got about, I don't have to be to work for another couple hours. This is fun. I feel like the guys from Wayne's World just sitting there. Except at least they had each other. I just have me and my Sonic mask. I'm taking this off now. Although I'm not 6 feet away from my camera, I probably shouldn't. I'm like 3 feet away from my camera. But I digress. Well, if you're ever streaming, which I know you are, I will check that out. Need to watch GTA. Oh, there you go. Oh, maybe I will watch that, actually. I watched that for like 2 hours the other day. I have no idea why. But it was actually strangely addictive. Mainly because of the German, but it was still addictive. And confusing. But not bad. You know, I don't know what they were doing, but it was good. It was good. So thank you for watching. I might stay on a few more minutes before I wrap it up myself. Because there's nothing going on here. And I've already said what I was going to say. So, that's it. But that's streaming for you. Sometimes you get 3 viewers. Actually, it's funny, Clev watched some of my Mario RPG stream yesterday, and he was like, oh, I miss Donkey Kong. Like, it's funny how he tries to relate by just mentioning, like, one thing. He's like, oh, GoldenEye. And it's like, yes, Clev, GoldenEye. That's pretty good. I didn't mind GoldenEye. Hell, I might end up signing off this stream before Bex does. But, yeah. Appreciate the view. Tell the gang I say hello. Actually, I'll tell them myself pretty soon. And, yeah. That's about all I got. And now I got nothing. Because I got 0 viewers, so. Well, with that, I think I actually spent longer setting this up than the actual stream lasted. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I guess with everything opening up again, people are back to work and out doing stuff. So maybe I should do the same. So, reporting live from my own bedroom here and where I am. This was episode 3.